We'll start with this Vaishnav song today. It's by Narottam Das Thakur. Nitai Pada Kamala, the lotus feet of Nitai, Koti Chanda Shushitala. We will directly read the translation first and then uh, only 4 paragraphs. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are a shelter where one will get the soothing moonlight, not only of one, but of millions of moons. Koti Chandra Shushitala. Koti means millions of moons. Sushitala is the cooling moonlight. If the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of lotus feet of Nityananda, it will be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna. If one actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Anyone who has not established his relationship with Nityanand Prabhu is understood to have spoiled his valuable human birth. Such a human birth is actually an uncontrollable animal. Because he never uttered the holy name of Nityananda, he has become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless education and family tradition do to help him? Being maddened after false prestige, ahankara matta hayya, and identification with the body, one is thinking, oh, what is Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care. The result is that he is accepting something false as truth. Asatya kori satya, asatya satya kori mani. He's thinking what is false as truth if one doesn't take shelter of Nityananda. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. When he is merciful toward you, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Therefore, you must firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. The lotus feet of Nityananda are not illusion, they are a fact. One who engages in the transcendental loving service of Nityananda is also transcendental. Always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. This Narottam Das Thakur is very unhappy. Therefore, I am praying to Lord Nityananda to make me happy. My dear Lord, please keep me close to your lotus feet. This Narottam Das Thakur, this song and the song Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More, there he says, Ha Prabhu Nityananda, Premananda Sukhi, Kripa Baro, Kripa Baro, Kripa Baro, Kana Koro, Ami Boro Dukhi. Same principle. Same thing he says here, Narottama Boro Dukhi, Nitai More Karo Sukhi. I'm very much miserable, unhappy in my advancement Krishna consciousness. Please make me happy. And same thing there, Nityananda, he says you are eternally happy. That's a Nitya Ananda, eternally happy. Kripa Balu Kana Koro. Please sidelong glance. Kana Koro. Kripa Balu. Show your mercy. Ami Bodo Dukhi. I'm very miserable. So we'll sing. It's actually a 2 beat, but I am not. I don't know how to play 2 beat mridanga. So I will chant in 3 beats only. Nitai Pada. Chandra Shikala Chaya Jagat Jura Je Chaya Jagat Jura Eno Nitai Dine Bhai Radha Krishna Paite Nai जेनो निताय बीने भाई राधा कृष्णा पाइते नाई दृढ़ कोरी धारो निताय पा दृढ़ कोरी धारो निताय पा से संबंधा नहीं जा वृथा जन्मा गेलो था से संबंधा नहीं जा वृथा जन्मा गेलो था means one who has not developed sambandha with Nitai, then what will happen? Vritha janma gelota. Again and again, cycle of birth and death. Sei pashu boro durachar. That person is just like an animal. Sei sambandha nahi ja vritha janma gelota. से संबंध नहीं जा वृथा जन्मा गेलो था से पशु बोरो दुराचार से पशु बोरो दुराचार निताय न बोलिलो मुखे माझिलो संसार सुखे निताय न बोलिलो मुखे माझिलो संसार सुखे. One who doesn't chant the name of Nitai, Nitai na bolilo mukhe, Majhilo samsara sukhe, then he will try to enjoy material happiness. Vidya kule ki kori beta. What is our material education give us? What benefit can it give us? Nitai na bolilo mukhe, Majhilo samsara sukhe. Nitai na bolilo mukhe, Majhilo samsara sukhe. Vidya kule ki kori beta. Vidya kule ki kori beta. Ahankare mata haya Nitai pada pashariya. Ahankara mata haya Nitai pada pashariya. Out of ahankar, false pride, false prestige, become maddened by false pride, don't think what will the lotus feet of Nitai do to me. Don't think like that. Ahankar mata huya Nitai pada pashariya. Ahankar mata huya Nitai pada pashariya. Asatye re satya kori mani. Asatye re satya kori mani. Nitai করুণা হবে ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে নিতাই করুণা হবে ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে ধরো নিতাই চরণ দুখানি ধরো নিতাই চরণ দুখানি one who has the karuna, the mercy of Nitai, the glance of Nitai. Braje Radha Krishna Pape. He will attain Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Dharo Nitai Charana Dukha. So please hold the feet of Nitai close to your heart. Nitai Charanya Satya Ahara Sevaka Nitya Nitai Charana Satya Ahara Sevaka Nitya Nitai Pada Sada Koro Asha Nitai Pada Sada Koro Asha. The feet of Nitai is not an imagination. Nitai Charana Satya. It is truth. It is there. If you take shelter of the feet of Nitai, he will make everything alright. It is Satya. Tahara Sevaka Nitya. Narottam Thakur is praying, please let me become your eternal servant, Nitai. Your eternal servant. Nitai Pada Sara Karo Ash. So please aspire, please desire to attain the lotus feet of Nitai. Narottama Bodo Dukhi Nitai More Koro Sukhi Narottama Bodo Dukhi O Nitai More Koro Sukhi Rakho Ranga Charanera Pasha Rakho Ranga Charanera Pasa Nitai More Narottama Bado Dukhi. So Narottam Das Thakur is praying on our behalf that I'm not happy Nitai, I'm not happy. Nitai More Karo Sukhi. Please help me to become absorbed in the holy name, absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Rakho Ranga Charanera Pas. Please keep me close to your lotus feet. Pas. Close. Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chanda Suchitala Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chanda Suchitala Jechaya Jagat Jurare Eno Nitai Dine Bhai Radha Krishna Paite Nai Eno Nitai Bine Bhai Braje Radha Krishna Paite Nai Veena Kori Dharo Nitai Se Sambandha Nahi Ja Ditha Janma Gelo Ta Se Sambandha Nahi Ja वृथा जन्मा गेलो था সেই পশু বড় দুরাশা সেই পশু বড় দুরাশা নিতাই না বলিল মুখে মাজিল সংসার সুখে নিতাই না বলিল মুখে মাজিল সংসার সুখে বিদ্যাকুলে কি করিবে তা বিদ্যাকুলে কি করিবে তা অহংকার মাথা হইয়া নিতাই পদা পাশরিয়া অহংকার মাথা হইয়া নিতাই পদা পাশরিয়া असत्येरा सत्य कोरिमानी असत्येरा सत्य कोरिमानी निताय करुणा हबे ब्रजे राधा कृष्ण पावे निताय करुणा हबे ब्रजे राधा कृष्ण पावे धरो निताय चरण दुखानी धरो निताय चरण दुखानी निताय चरण सत्या ताहारा सेवक नित्या निताय चरण सत्या आहारा सेवक नित्या निताय पदा सदा कोनो आशा निताय पदा सदा कोनो आशा नरोत्तमा बड़ो दुखी निताय मोरे करो सुखी नरोत्तमा बड़ो दुखी निताय मोरे करो सुखी नरोत्तमा बड़ो दुखी निताय मोरे करो सुखी नरोत्तमा बड़ो दुखी मोरे निताय करो सुखी लाखो रंगा चरणेरा पाशा लाखो रंगा चरणेरा पाशा निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतला निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतला ये छाया जगत जुरा ये छाया जगत जुरा तेनो नित्य दिने भरी ब्रजे राधा कृष्ण पाइते नहीं तेनो नित्य दिने भरी ब्रजे राधा कृष्ण पाइते नहीं धीरा करी धरो नित्य धीरा करी धरो नित्य से संबंध नहीं जा वृथा जन्म गेलो था से संबंध नहीं था वृथा जन्म गेलो था से पशु बड़ দুরাছা সেই কশু বড় দুরাছা তাই না বলিল মুখে মাঝিল সংসার সুখে তাই না বলিল মুখে মাঝিল সংসার সুখে विद्याकुले की करिबे था विद्याकुले की करिबे था अहंकार मता हइया पिताय पदा पशरिया अहंकार मता हइया पिताय पदा पशरिया असत्य रे सत्य परिमानी असत्य रे सत्य परिमानी निताय करुणा हवे भजे राधा कृष्ण हवे निताय करुणा हवे भजे राधा कृष्ण हवे करो निताय चरण दुखानी करो निताय चरण दुखानी निताय चरण सत्या सेवक नित्या निताय चरण सत्या सेवक नित्या निताय पदा सदा करो आशा निताय पदा सदा करो आशा नरोत्तम बड़ो दुखी निताय मोरे करो सुखी नरोत्तम बड़ो दुखी निताय मोरे करो सुखी नरोत्तम बड़ो दुखी मोरे निताय करो सुखी राखो रंगा चरणे रपाशा राखो रंगा चरणे रपाशा निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतला निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतला दयाल निताय 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 ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। जय जय गौरचंद्र जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। और ग्लोरीज लॉर्ड चैतन्य महाप्रभु और ग्लोरीज लॉर्ड नित्यानंद प्रभु। All glories to Advaitacharya. All glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. So name of the chapter is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu travels to the holy places. This is another long chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Today we will cover only 1/4 of the chapter. Actually, one sixth of the chapter. It has like over three around 370 verses. Long chapter. So this chapter covers the entire South India tour, basically. A lot of things will come. Mahaprabhu visiting various places, various pastimes on the way, in the Shirangam visiting Shirangam, lot of everything that Mahaprabhu did in South India. So far, we saw Mahaprabhu just began his tour basically recently, and last chapter was completely dedicated to conversation between Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this instruction to Ramananda Roy that you give up everything and you move to Jagannath Puri. And we will spend whole night discussing about Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. That's where the heart of Narottam Ramananda Roy was flowing towards. And then Mahaprabhu further continued the pastimes uh, in South India. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted the inhabitants of South India. We saw the amount of mercy Mahaprabhu showed to South India is unimaginable. He did not even show, we discussed earlier, in Bengal or in Puri or any other place. That much merciful Mahaprabhu was in South India. These people were as strong as elephants, but they were in the clutches of crocodiles of various philosophies. So just like Gajendra was very powerful, but he was caught up by crocodile, um, and he was helpless. Likewise, these people in South India, they were very powerful people, very strong people, but they were in the clutches of crocodile of various philosophies. So how many millions? So many people in South India, and they all have their own views about what is spiritual realization, who we are. Some are Brahman, some are Mayavad, some are Yoga Patanjali system, some are just Vedic Brahmana rituals. Everyone have their own views. So they all were caught up in their own hub of philosophy like a crocodile. And just like Lord Vishnu delivered Gajendra from the mouth of crocodile, likewise Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered all these mundane spiritualists from their own speculative understanding of self-realization and gave him the pure tattva of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and Vedanta Sutras. So these people were as strong as elephants, but they were in the clutches of the crocodile of various philosophies. So people of South India compared to elephants, and the philosophy that they were bound by is compared to crocodiles. Just such as Buddhist, Jain, Mayavad philosophy. So many. Some are Buddhist, some are Jain, some are Mayavad, some are Brahmavadis, and various other their own sections. With this disc of mercy, the disc of Lord Narayan delivered Gajendra. Likewise, the disc of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is his mercy, just his. Okay, I want them to attain Shuddha Prem, pure love for Krishna. So just with his disc of mercy, the Lord delivered them all by converting them to Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord. So this is an introduction. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, how much mercy for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how much mercy he gave. Here Kaviraj Goswami states that although these people were as strong as elephants, they were almost in the clutches of death because they were being attacked by the crocodiles of various philosophies. This Buddhism, Jainism, Mayavad is simply death. It simply sends you to even lower planets. It doesn't do any good to you. So they were just at the verge of death, but Mahaprabhu saved them all. He saved all the people of South India from the clutches of various philosophies by giving them pure Shuddha Nam. Sei Sabatirtha Sparshi Mahatirtha Kaila Sei chale shei de shera, lokanishtarila. On the plea of visiting all these holy places, the Lord converted many thousands of residents and thus delivered. Simply by touching the holy places, he made them into great places of pilgrimage. So, two things Mahaprabhu did. One thing he did is he sanctified the holy places. Mahaprabhu did not go. Now, one thing he sanctified the holy places. Second thing is he delivered thousands and thousands of people in South India. He was not going to take darshan of temples in South India. He was going to make the places of South India holy and to show mercy to all living entities. Now, Shri Prabhupada gave an example of a hospital. Many kinds of patients come to a hospital which may be infected by many types of diseases. Actually, the hospital is always infected. So many people during Corona time didn't want to go to hospital because they may get the disease. So the hospital people go with the disease and they infect the hospital. Actually, it becomes very unsafe place to go. Um, um, Recently, one doctor was telling people come for various problems to the hospital, and they get so many infections because hospital has so many infections. But the expert physician keeps the hospital sterilized by his expert presence and management. But if you see, hospitals have many strict sterilizing process. Like if you see all the physicians, they wash hand, they wear gloves every time, a new gloves. They do so many before, after touching, they change the bed sheet, like paper bed sheet. So they are taking so much precaution because hospital by default will become an infected place. So it's the job of expert physician and management, etc., to keep it safe. Similarly, places of pilgrimage are always infected by the sins left by the sinners who go there. When people visit a holy place, they leave their sins there. That's how they get benefited. They become purified. That's why so many people, they perform so many sinful activities, kill so many cows, and then they go to holy place, holy tirthas, holy rivers, and they take a dip there. And actually they become purified. Then they come there. But where will the sin go? So they stay there. So just like a patient leaves the diseases in the hospital, the sinner leave their sins in the holy places. Um, um, but when a personality like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his strict followers visit such a place, all contaminations vanish. So these are the two purposes Mahaprabhu served in his South India trip. He delivered the people from South India and he made the holy tirthas actually holy just by visiting them. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, those who have read or those who have heard, ninth canto, I don't remember exactly. Ganga, the descent of Ganga. There, um, Bhagirathi asked Ganga Devi that you come to. Ganga agreed to come up to heavenly planets, but she doesn't want to come to lower planets, earthly planet or lower planet. Ganga said, people are so sinful. Age of Kali is also coming, and they will take bath and they will leave all their sin. I cannot survive with their sins. And then it is said that Bhagavatam, it is said that don't worry, Ganga. Um, um, the pure devotees of the Lord will come and take bath in you. By their bathing, they will purify you. They will take all their sins on themselves. So that is the benediction of a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, which is extremely rare. And having accepting such a pure devotee as one's own spiritual master is like breaking the cycle of birth and like forever, because that personality, pure devotee, takes charge of us. He has direct connection. Nikunjayana Ratikali Siddhya, he is eternally assisting in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And then when he accepts us, then he purifies us instantaneously. Srila Prabhupada said, as soon as you are initiated to become a pure devotee, Now it's up to you to remain a pure devotee or not. So he purifies us from all karmic baggage instantaneously. And because he has a relationship with Krishna, he goes and he tells Krishna, this person is not very serious. He is, yet I have accepted him as my disciple. I have taken his responsibility. Now, please take him back. And Krishna becomes obliged. We don't require any qualification. Um, our Gurudev becomes our qualification because he becomes like um, um, mm, um, mediator. Mediator. Guru directly connects us to Krishna directly. He connects us to Parampara. Um, we see anybody who becomes dear to a pure devotee, Krishna becomes bound to accept that person. Very good example is Shiva's Thakur, washerman. Because Shiva's Thakur washerman, Mahaprabhu gave him mercy. Shiva's Thakur niece, Narayani, whose son later on was Vrindavan Das Thakur. She received the mercy of um, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shivananda Sen's dog, he received the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, went back to God. So many examples. Um, mm, that that lady Dukhi who was bringing water to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was helping devotees to do Abhishek during Mahaprakash, dear Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu gave her love of God instantaneously. So many examples in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anybody who receives the karuna of a devotee, a pure devotee, who has direct relationship with Krishna, Krishna immediately accepts. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains during the time of initiation, I accept the devotee as good as myself. So now Krishna loves him so much, loves himself so much. And we see, he is attracted by his beauty, that to taste his own sweetness, he came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to taste his own, one of the three internal reasons. And as much as Krishna loves himself, he says, I accept the devotee as good as myself. So that is the effect of a pure devotee taking charge of us. Okay, I will make sure this devotee goes back to God. Um, so power of, imagine such devotees, they visit, even pure devotees, when they visit ISKCON temples, they purify those places. They purify all the holy places. One time I was in Shidha Mayapur, and one devotee told me that the reason Mayapur Dham is so potentially surcharged, he says, because of Jananivas Prabhu, Pankajangli Prabhu, Jayapataka Maharaj, and the visiting sannyasis. Because in in thousands people come every day to take darshan of Panchatattva. Those who have been to Mayapur, they know. Take darshan of Panchatattva, Radha Madhav. Thousands every day. So, and naturally they leave their sins there. But the pure devotees who are living there, they neutralize and maintain the purity. Actually, the purity of a holy place is not based merely on um, on the deities itself, but pure devotees, they maintain maintain the purity of that place. Imagine if there is a holy place where only sins are left. Now, it's, my spiritual master says, temple is not a structure, is the devotees that keeps the sanctity, that keeps the holiness of the place, pure devotees. At that time, All South Indian Vaishnavas were worshippers of Lord Ramchandra. Some were Tattvavadis. Tattvavadis are Madhva followers. And some were followers of Ramanujacharya. So if you see Ramanujacharya followers, they worship Ramchandra. Even Madhvites worship Ramchandra. In other words, anywhere you go in South India, you will see Sitaram worship. So Tattvavadis or followers of Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya headquarters is in Udupi. Tattvavadis or followers of Madhvacharya do not accept the incident of Lord Brahma's illusion. Srimad, like we know during Brahma Vimohan Leela, Lord Brahma was illusion. Give me 1 second. Um, Madhvacharya, they do not accept the instant of that Brahma was illusion. Sri Madhvacharya has purposefully avoided commenting on that portion of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, because we are Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya, begin with Brahma. So, Madhvacharya and his followers, they thought, Brahma is our beginner of Sampradaya. How can he be illusion? He's a pure devotee. So they omit the pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam, where he stole cowherd voice. And that's why we are not really strict follower of Madhvacharya also. That's why we are called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Now, a name is added when there is a significant contribution to the parampara. So initially it was just Brahma Sampradaya. Madhvacharya enhanced it. So the followers of Madhvacharya became Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya. And after Madhvacharya enhanced it, there were some flaws in Madhvacharya Sampradaya. Like this is one of the flaw. They rejected the scriptures also at some places. So to further enhance complete acceptance of Shrimad Bhagavatam and Vedic scriptures was the contribution of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, pure devotion. So that became Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Tattvavadis or followers of Madhvacharya. Okay. So now there are some things about Madhvacharya. Why we are not just Brahma Madhva Sampradaya? Why we are Gaudiyas? We are basically Gaudiyas. One thing we know, Madhvacharya would not worship Srimati Radharani, just Krishna. Another thing here Prabhupada says, Madhvacharya Sampradaya and Ramanujacharya Sampradaya are mainly worshippers of Lord Ramachandra. Although Sri Vaishnavites are supposed to be worshippers of Lord Narayan and Lakshmi, and Tattvavadis, which is Madhva Sampradaya, are supposed to be worshippers of Lord Krishna. At present, in most of the monasteries belonging to Madhva Sampradaya, Lord Ramachandra is worshipped. The Ramanuja Sampradaya Vaishnavas prefer to worship Lord Ramchandra to that of Radha Krishna. So, um, um, this is when Mahaprabhu was going to South India. He saw the devotees of Lord Ramchandra mainly, including Madhvites. So many flaws in Madhvacharya. I mean, we are their Sampradaya, but we are enhanced version of their Sampradaya, because they would not worship Krishna specifically. Instead, they would worship Lord Ramchandra. Although according to Padma Puran, Brahma, Rudra, and Kumaras are worshippers of Krishna, and Shri is worshipper of Narayan. But we see that everybody now, over the influence of time, everybody is worshipping Lord Ramachandra instead. During manifest pastimes, now this is one instance where Lord Ramchandra, and there was a Brahmana, this comes in the scriptures. During Treta Yuga, the Brahmana took a vow that I will not eat anything until I see Lord Ram, because so much love and affection, pure love for Lord Ram. So sometime Lord Ramchandra would go out for a week, and this Brahmana would fast for a week. And after 7 8 days, after taking darshan of Lord Ram, he would eat. So Lord Ramchandra was in great distress. So he told Lakshmana that uh, these are deities of Maya Sita Devi. Give it to this Brahman. It's non-different from me, so that he can take my darshan and then he can eat. So Brahmana started worshipping the deity of Sita. And then the Brahmana, over a period of time, he was satisfied, very happy. Those were deities personally given by Lord Ramchandra. Just like there were deities personally given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for devotees to worship. Um, One of the example is in Rupa Goswami's temple. Um, um, Radha Govinda Dev. Kashishwar was asked to go, I think it was him. And then he said, I cannot be separated from you. So Mahaprabhu gave him his own deity. And he said, this is not different from me. So I am coming with you through this deity. And Gauridas Pandit, he gave his own deity of Nitai Gauranga to Gauridas Pandit. Um, they later on entered into the heart of Hriday Chaitanya also. So there are instances. So likewise, Ramchandra gave his own deity to um, this Brahmana. After this Brahmana passed away, that deity were being worshipped by Lakshman, and they were being given to Hanuman. And then Hanuman's, when he was in um, uh, uh, Gandha Madara mountains, something like that. He would live there and he would worship Sitaram deities, which were personally carved by Lord Ramchandra himself. Then later on, Hanuman gave it to his brother Bhishma Sen, because they both are putra of Vayudev. So there is an instance where Hanuman met Bhishma Sen, the five Pandavas. Uh, Bhim Sen, sorry, Bhim. So he gave his these deities to Bhim, and then later on, Bhim handed them over once he was leaving for Himalayans, ending his pastimes. So he gave it to another descendant of Pandava, who later on gave it to the king of Orissa, and it was worshipped in the kingdom of Orissa for many years. And just short before the departure of Madhvacharya, those deities were handed over to Madhvacharya, and Madhvacharya established Sitaram deities in Udupi. There is also Udupi Krishna, that is the headquarter, which Madhvacharya found in the Gopi Chandan. But at the same time, although there is Udupi Krishna, they are supposed to be worshipper of Krishna. Most of the mutts of Madhvacharya, Lord Ramchandra is being worshipped. So that was brought later on. And Sri Vaishnavites, they prefer to worship Lord Ramchandra instead of Radha Krishna. For one reason, it's very easy for everybody to relate to the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. I mean, it is difficult even for devotees to understand Radha Krishna pastimes. Mahaprabhu pastime is easy to understand. No confusion. Um, safe, safe to understand. But Radha Krishna pastimes and Krishna pastime with the gopis is very esoteric subject matter. Even devotees find it difficult to accept them, and I mean they accept, but to digest them, how is it possible? So naturally, Ramchandra is like, it is said that you live like Lord Ram, but you love Lord Krishna. You live like Lord Ram because you cannot live like Lord Krishna, because pastimes are very esoteric. Um, but Ramchandra, he never displayed any opulence and lived like Maryada, like a human being. So you live like him, but your heart should be driven towards Lord Krishna. So that's why everybody find it easier to describe Lord Ramchandra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw, I mean, he came to give us the highest thing is Braja Radha Krishna. But then he saw that in South India, everybody is a worshipper of Lord Ramchandra. Sai Sabha Vaishnava Mahaprabhura Darshane Krishna Upashaka Haila Laya Krishna Name. After meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all those different Vaishnavas became devotees of Krishna and began chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the contribution of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whether Sri Sampradaya, Madhva Sampradaya, Mayavadis, Brahmavadis, Puranic followers, regular Brahmanas, we will see everybody started chanting Hare Krishna. So this is Mahaprabhu's kripa. Mallikarjuna Tirthe Yai Mahesha Dekhila Taha Sabha Loke Krishna Namalao Yaila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to Mallikarjuna Tirtha and saw the deity of Lord Shiva there. He also induced all the people to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is in Andhra Pradesh. Even um, he met Ramananda Roy. That was also in Andhra Pradesh, and he continued. And then he came to Sri Sailam Temple, which is also Mallika Arjuna Tirtha. Now, there are 12, um, 12 lingas in India. Like basically they are called Jyoti Linga. Let's see the purport. Mallikarjuna is also known as Sri Shaila. There are great walls all around the village, and within the walls reside the deity known as Mallika Arjuna. It is a deity of Lord Shiva and one of the Jyotirlingas. So this is in Andhra Pradesh. Now there are 12 Jyotirlingas all over India. Recently, one new family came in Grand Rapids, and I was talking to them. They belong to a Brahmana family. So, and then he said, I have only one goal in my life. I said, bro, what is your goal? He said, I want to visit all the 12 Jyotirlinga in India. And he said, I visited 3 and his wife has visited only 1 Jyotirlinga. So they're in many different corners in India. So you want to visit all the 12 Jyotirlinga. So they are basically hardcore worshippers of Lord Shiva, basically. I told them that Lord Shiva is devotee of Lord Ramchandra who comes from Krishna. He didn't really like it, but I did my part. But here we see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he he would go to Shiv temple also, and this like Sri Shailam, Mallikarjuna temple, these are like like headquarters of Shiva's followers, kind of. Now Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says the Lord visited unlimited holy places, but here is a description of only a few prominent ones, because he said it is not possible to describe them all. So many places Mahaprabhu visited. So Sri Shailam or this Mallikarjuna is like hardcore Lord Shiva followers, and by seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they became Vaishnavas. So that is just a glimpse of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Uttama Dhamma na karo vichar. He didn't see who is having which background. Everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Bija Pradapita. All the living entities, I am the seed giving father. Full stop. No matter what they follow. Everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Vamsa Jiva Bhuta, Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Mamai Vamsa, they are my part and parcel. So different people may have different faiths and do different things and follow different rituals. Ultimately, Krishna himself says that they are my Vamsa, part and parcel. And Mahaprabhu just connected them to the source right away in Sri Shaila Mallikarjuna places. Then Ramadasa Mahadeve Karila Darshana Ahovala Narsimhege Karila Gamana. There he saw Lord Mahadev Shiva, where in Sri Shaila, the servant of Lord Ram. He then went to Ahoval Nar Ahovala Narsimha. So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after um, 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 taking darshan of Lord Shiva, the servant of Lord Ram, um, Ram Das Mahadev, Karila Darshana. That's how Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami. And we know this where Parvati says, chanting thousand names of Vishnu takes a lot of time. The sadhana is very long. Is there an easier way to worship the Lord? And then uh, Lord Shiva tells Mother Parvati um, the famous verse Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. Um, uh, thousand names Sahas Tattulyanam. Um, thousand names of Lord Vishnu is compared to three times chanting Lord Ram name. And he says, I worship and I chant Lord Ram's name. So that he gave. So he is called Ramdas Mahadev, Karila Darshana. And then after that, he went to Ahovilam. Now, Aho, Ahovilam is also in Andhra Pradesh. So this is all like, he is going across the corners. Like we saw throughout the India lower portion, he walked. So Ahovilam is the place where, is there purport to it? Okay, it's not there. So Ahovalam is a place where Nrsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu. There is also a pillar um, 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 nearby in Ahovalam from where Lord Nrsingadev appeared. So that is considered as the original place in South India of Lord Nrsingadev. There are also some ISKCON devotees who have strong attraction for Lord Nrsingadev based on their Nitya Siddha Deha. They go and worship in Ahovilam. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there. It's in deep into the forest, this place, from what I have heard. So then he offered many prayers Lord Nrsingadev also. Then he then went to Siddhavat. This is also in Andhra Pradesh, where he saw the deity of Lord Ramchandra, the deity of Sita Devi. There a Brahmana invited the Lord to take lunch. So this is his tours continuing. He went to first um, Lord Shiva temple, and then Narsimha Dev temple, Ahobilam, Mallikarjuna, Sri Shaila, then Lord Nrsingadev temple, and then he went to little bit further, around 2 hours further. Then he went to Siddhavat. What is banyan tree? And Siddhavat, because there is a huge, very ancient banyan tree there. So there is a deity of Lord Ramchandra and Sita Devi, and he worshipped there. And then one Brahmana. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going with one more servant only. So there he met a Brahmana who was a devotee of Lord Ramchandra. He invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for prasadam, lunch. So that Brahmana, his name is described as Ramdas. That Brahmana constantly chanted the holy name of Ramchandra. This Brahmana is different from another Brahmana of Ramdas that we have heard, who accompanied Raghunath Bhatta Goswami and was neglected by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he wanted to merge into the existence of Lord Ramchandra. That will come later on. This is a different Brahmana. Um, Anybody who invite anybody, Mahaprabhu will eat only in the homes of Brahmanas. So, or those who chant 1 lakh names. Otherwise, Mahaprabhu will not eat in others' home. So that Brahmana, he constantly chanted the holy name of Ramchandra. So Mahaprabhu was very happy. So in that Brahmana constantly chanted the holy name of Ramchandra. Indeed, but for chanting Lord Ramchandra's holy name, that Brahmana did not speak a word. That Brahmana would not say anything. He would simply chant Ram, 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 Ram. And he invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would not ask anything, he would not say anything. He cooked for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu ate and Mahaprabhu left. Mahaprabhu also did not say anything. And he simply kept on chanting Ram, 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 Ram. So then something more on him. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to That day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained there and accepted prasadam at his home. After bestowing mercy upon him in this way, he proceeded ahead, and then Mahaprabhu went to two places at the holy place known as Skanda Kshetra. Skanda is actually a name of Murga, um, or Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva. Mahaprabhu pay respects to all the demigods. Mahaprabhu was not like, if some demigod, hut. That was not his mood. Whether he would pay respect to them as devotees. It is said that all the demigods are devotees of Lord Narayan. Lord Shiva is devotee of Lord Ramchandra, and Ganesh, Kartikeya, they're all devotees of the Lord. So he would pay respect to them as devotees. So he went to Skanda Kshetra where Murga was worshipped. So um, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited a temple of Skanda. Basically, he purified all the places he went. And from there, he went to Trimatha, where he saw the Vishnu deity Trivikrama. So this is a Narayan deity. You see four-handed form, Chakra, Gada, Padma, lotus, this conch, club. So he, mm, yeah, four-handed Narayan form, Trivikrama. Those who put tilak. I encourage all of you to put tilak. We discuss in Nectar of Devotion. There is, Keshavaya, Narayana, Madhavaya, Govindaya. And then one of the name that comes is Trivikraya, Vamana, Sridhara, Rishikeshaya, Rishikeshaya, Damodaraya, Padmanabhaya. So like that, the names and the 12 forms of Lord Narayan. So one of them is Trivikrama. So that deity is there in Trimatha. So when Mahaprabhu went after Sri Shaila, then he went to Ahobilam, and then he met this Brahmana who would constantly chant the name of Lord Ramchandra. He took prasadam there, and then he went further, little bit detour. Then he went because he came to know there is Trivikrama, Narayan deity. So he would go there. So on the way there was Skanda Kshetra. So he went to Kartikeya, and then he went to see the Narayan deity Trivikrama, and then he came back to the Brahmana's home. So this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the Brahmana. Puna Siddhavata Aila Sei Vipra Ghare Sei Vipra Krishna Nam Laya Nirantare. Now Puna Siddhavata Aila. Again he came to Siddhavat. Siddhavat is again, the place where he met, um, where there's a temple of Lord Shiva and where he met this devotee of Lord Ramchandra. So after visiting the temple of Trivikrama, the Lord returned to Siddhavat, and then he again visited the house of the Brahmana, who would constantly chant, because Mahaprabhu was very impressed that, he constantly chanted the name of Lord Ramchandra, who was now constantly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So now when Mahaprabhu came, he saw that this Brahmana is constantly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Say Vipra Krishna Nam, Laya Nirantare. Now, all Nirantare, always he's chanting Krishna Nam this time. So Mahaprabhu was surprised. So Mahaprabhu, Bhikshakari Mahaprabhu Tande Prashna Kaila. So he begged Bhiksha, lunch. He took his lunch there. Then he asked a question. Tande Prashna Kaila. Kaha Vipra, tell me, my dear Brahmana. Vipra means Brahmana. Naham Vipra Nacha Narapati Napi Vaishya Shudro. I am not a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Vipra is Brahmana. Kaha Vipra, ei tomar kon dasha haila. What is your dasha? Dasha means what is your stand? Who are you, a Krishna devotee or are you a Ramchandra devotee? What is your dasha? What is your state now? So something like that, because Mahaprabhu was shocked, always chanting names of Lord Ramchandra, and now Nirantar taking Krishna Nam. So after finishing lunch there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the Brahmana, my dear friend, kindly tell me what your position is now. Formerly you were constantly chanting the holy name of Lord Ram. Why are you now constantly chanting the holy name of Krishna? विप्रा बोले ए तोमार दर्शन प्रभावे. विप्रा बोले, this is the influence of your darshan. Why you are taking chanting constantly Krishna naam? ए तोमार darshan prabhav. The prabhav, the effect of your darshan is like that. तोमा देखी गेला मोरा अजन्म स्वभावे. um, तोमार देखी गेला मोरा अजन्म स्वभावे. My lifelong practice is changed. Since my childhood, I am constantly chanting of Lord Ram. By seeing you once, I changed my stature. Now I became a devotee of Krishna. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave mercy even without talking to everybody and gave them Krishna Naam, Krishna Prem. The Brahmana replied, "This is all due to your influence, sir. After seeing you, I have lost my lifelong practice. मोरा जन्म स्वभाव, पूरे जन्म का हरि बोल हो गया मेरा एक दर्शन से. Once I saw you and gone. Now no Ram is coming, only Krishna is coming in my mouth. बाल्यवधि राम नाम ग्रहण अमर. बाल्यवधि राम नाम ग्रहण अमर. Since my childhood, I have been chanting. Balya means child. Balyavadi Ram Nam Grahan Amar. Constantly I am chanting the name of Lord Ramchandra. Toma Deki Krishna Nam Aila Ekabar. But upon seeing you, I chanted the holy name of Lord Krishna just once. When I saw you, then I chanted Krishna. Just by seeing you, I once chanted. And then what happened after chanting once? Sei Haite Krishna Nam Jivate Vasila Krishna Nam Spure Ram Nam Dure Gela. Since then, the holy name of Lord Krishna has been tightly fixed upon my tongue. Sei Haite Krishna Nam Jivata Vasila. Jiva mein fix ho gaya. Now nothing else comes from my mouth. Indeed, since I have been chanting the holy name of Krishna, the holy name of Lord Ramchandra has gone far away. Ram Nam Dure Gila. Dur matlab has gone far away. Krishna Nam Spure. Krishna Nam became getting manifested in me, and Ram Nam is not even approaching me. So he is praying to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sahasa Nam Punya Nam. And then Brahmana, he says that I know the tattva, I know the importance of Krishna Nam. So he quotes this verse to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This verse is from Brahmanda Puran. Like Padma Puran describes 3 named Ram, 1 named Vishnu. And this Brahmanda Puran, it says Sahasra Nam Punya Nam Trir Avritya Tutat Phalam. Sahasra Nam, 1000 names, you multiply by 3. 1 name of Ram is 1000 names of Vishnu. And 3000 names of Vishnu. Sahasra Nam Punya Nam Trir Avritya Tuyat Phalam. Eka Vitya to Krishnasya. 1 name of Krishna. Namaikam Tat Priyachati. So the pious result derived from chanting the 1000 holy names of Vishnu 3 times can be attained by only one utterance of the holy name of Krishna. This we have heard many times. 1 name Krishna is 3 times Lord Ram name, and 1 name Ram is 1000 times. So 3 times Lord Ram name is 3000 times the name of Lord Vishnu. So he is telling to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I understand this. I know even before I met you. But then why he was not chanting name of Krishna? According to this statement of the Shastra, the glories of holy name of Krishna are unlimited. Still I could not chant his holy name. Please hear the reason for this. He said, I know this. Krishna Nam is the truth, but I'm in the highest, but still I was always chanting the Lord Ram name. And why I was doing so? Please hear the reason for this. My worshipable Lord has been Lord Ramchandra, and by chanting his holy name, I received happiness. When I would chant holy name of Lord Ram, I would find joy there. And I have been a devotee of Lord Ram. Because I received such happiness, I chanted the holy name of Lord Ram day and night. But somehow he could not find that happiness in chanting name of Krishna. But in chanting name of Lord Ram, he was finding happy. He could connect, but he could not connect with name of Krishna. So he continued chanting Ram, 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 day and night. तुम्हारा दर्शन या बे कृष्ण नाम आइला ताहारा महिमा ताबे हृदय लागीला. By your appearance, Lord Krishna's holy name also appeared. And at that time, the glories of Krishna's name awoke in my heart. But once I saw you, and once I chanted Krishna name once in front of you, just by seeing you, it has stuck to my tongue. And now it has fully kind of the glories of the name of Krishna. Initially, the glories of name of Lord Ramchandra were manifested to me, but the glories of name of Lord Krishna was never manifested to me. Only theoretically I understood Krishna Naam is the topmost, but it was not manifested to me. But by seeing you, your darshan, tomara darshan yabe Krishna Naam aila, tahara mahima, the glories, the mahima of the name of Krishna by your darshan also awoke in my heart. Say Krishna tumi sakshat iha nirdharila, eta kahi vipra prabhura charana padila. Sir, you are that Lord Krishna himself. That is my conclusion. Say Krishna tumi sakshat. That is my saying this. The Brahmana fell down at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he just said, "You are Krishna himself." He got that realization from within his heart. And actually, everybody wherever Mahaprabhu was going, um, this understanding was resonating in their heart. They have heard, and it resonated by the presence, just by the presence of, by the darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu did not reveal his divinity to the Brahmana. Actually, Mahaprabhu revealed his divinity only to his confidential servants like Ramananda Rai, who is Vishakha Sakhi, or Sarvam Bhattacharya, like, very confidential associates of Lord, or he revealed his divinity in Mahaprakash Leela to Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Kolavecha Sridhar, like, those who would join him in whole night kirtans. And when milk drinking brahmachari, Mahaprabhu said, throw him out. So just very confidentially Mahaprabhu revealed. Otherwise, general public he would not reveal, although they would accept him. So he showed his mercy. Anyways, so this is he started from Puri, from Mayapur he went to Calcutta, Bhubaneswar, Puri, and then Vishakhapatnam, Vijayawada, and Tirupati he will go next week, and then this is all happening on the way. So that's is so from Andhra Pradesh he will go to Karnataka, and then he will continue Tamil Nadu and mm, um, Goa also he goes. Udupi he will go. He goes to the west, Bombay, and so yeah, long way he traveled. So we will see all this will come in this particular chapter. So after showing the mercy to the Brahmana, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the next day and arrived at Vriddha Kashi, where he visited the temple of Lord Shiva. Lot of places you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visit temple of Lord Shiva. But when he would go there, he would give them Krishna Nam. So now, Sri Chaitanya, now here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then left Vriddha Kashi and proceeded further. In one village, he saw that most of the residents were Brahmanas, and he took his rest there. So Mahaprabhu just with one Brahmana. So after delivering and giving Krishna Nam to this Brahmana, who was a constant devotee of chanting Lord Ram's name, he continued, and then he came to a village where he saw the whole village was filled with Brahmanas. So Mahaprabhu felt comfortable there, so he took his rest there. And then now, at that point of time, actually, the people who were Brahmanas, they had lot of piety. Still in India, you will see people born in Brahmana family has lot of piety. But there is so much other understanding also that we will see in this village what happened. So, lot of Brahmanas, so Mahaprabhu slept there. He passed his night there. Due to the influence of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many millions of men came just to see him. Indeed, the assembly being unlimited, its member could not be counted. Lot of Brahmanas came there in the village. It is said millions came there. Tarkika, Mimamsaka, Yata Mayavadi Gana, Sankhya Patanjala Smriti, Purana Agama. There are many kinds of philosophers. Some are logicians who follow Gautam and Kannada. Some follow the Mimamsa philosophy of Jaimini. Some follow the Mayavad philosophy of Shankaracharya. And others follow Kapila Sankhya philosophy or the mystic yoga system of Patanjali. Some follow the Smriti Shastra, composed of 20 religious scriptures, which is like a lot of Smriti Shastras. And others follow the Puranas and the Tantra Shastra. In this way, there are many different types of philosophers. So when Mahaprabhu went, they were in a village. The village was prominently filled with Brahmanas, but they all had some their ancestral spiritual understanding. Some will some will read Smriti Shastra, some will read Puranas, some will read Gautama Kannada, some will read Patanjali Yoga, some will follow um, atheistic Sankhya, impersonalist, and some will follow Tantra, Tantra Shastra. So in this way, some will follow Mimamsa philosophy of Jaimini. So in this way, they all had, nobody will discuss among each other. They all had some rituals at home, and they all are follower of some Vedic Shastra here or there, something. So um, Nija Nija Shastro Grahe Sabai Prachanda Sarvamata Dushi Prabhu Kare Khanda Khanda. Khanda Khanda means he, okay, let us see. Um, all of these adherents of various scriptures were ready to present the conclusion of their respective scriptures. They all have lot of faith in their own scriptures, and they all were ready to prove what I am doing is the right thing. Everybody else, they're not proper Brahmanas, but we know. So they all have their own conclusions. So Nija Nija Shastra Grahe Sabai Prachanda. Prachanda means they are ready to do prachar also. They're ready to convince everybody. And Nija Nija Shastra Grahe. They all have their own conclusions. They're all understanding. They all are ready to give their conclusions to others. Sarva Mata Dushi Prabhu Kare Khanda Khanda. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broke all their opinions to pieces. Khanda means piece. So Prabhu Kare Khanda Khanda means their conclusions. Mahaprabhu, he argued with them and broke them into pieces. So this South India tour, lot of preaching. And we see from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how he converted everybody into Shuddha Naam. He gave everybody Shuddha Naam and Shuddha Prem. Whether it is the epitome of Shiva devotees at Jyotirlinga, or the devotee of Lord Ramchandra, or Mayavad philosophers, or all these different kinds of Brahmanas. He did not discriminate at all. He gave Krishna consciousness to anyone. He didn't reject anyone. He just saw, okay, whoever that person is, he is looking for Krishna prem. So let me give it to him. And he convinced him through logic and arguments. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never forced anyone, but he convinced everybody. We see even Mayavad like Sarva Bhattacharya, Mahaprabhu heard him 7 days, 7 nights, and then logically he defeated him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, based on Shastra, with utter humility. That's the key. Utter humility and and shastric base. Prabhupada said books are the basis. And likewise, with utter humility and shastric base, he defeated Prakash and the Saraswati and others in Varanasi. And for this Ramchandra devotee, because he already knows the glories of Lord Krishna, just darshan is enough, and he became a pure devotee of Krishna just by darshan. No need of philosophy. He's already a Vaishnava. Just he's confused, but already a Vaishnava. And to these Brahmanas, he would present arguments. So he broke all their opinions to pieces and established bhakti cult, bhakti movement based on Vedas, Vedanta, Brahma Sutra, and the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Now this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Um, all the scriptures emanate from his flute. Um, so he is the knower of the Vedas. Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham. So whatever is their understanding of Veda, Vedanta Sutra, Purana, Smriti, or if there are faulty philosophies like Patanjali Yoga Sutra, then he would say why they are faulty, why they should be rejected. And other pure scriptures like Vedanta Sutras, he would say how their interpretation is wrong. So Shastra and humility combined, and he made their understanding powdered into pieces and gave Vaishnava philosophy. One cannot give just based on argument, but based on humility, based on purity. These three things are required. Prabhupada says purity is the force, books are the basis, preaching is the essence. Um, Sarvatra Sthapaya Prabhu Vaishnava Siddhante, Prabhura Siddhanta Keha, Napare Khandite. We also see Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying that, if you are a sincere Vaishnava, chanting the holy names, rendering seva, then you'll be empowered to preach. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says how many hearts you have influenced will depend upon your purity, your purity. So if you just focus on good sadhana, nice chanting, hearing, the mood of humility, seva attitude, um, and as much as possible, um, don't become influenced by false pride. My Guru Maharaj says that is the biggest danger for an advancing devotee. So as long as we have the right mood, we will be empowered more and more beyond limits. But we cannot serve serving Krishna, serving Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a privilege. And we cannot serve them by arguments. We can serve them by pleasing them. If they are pleased, they will give us seva. It's up to them. If they're not pleased, then we then we will just roam here and there and nothing will move. Nothing will happen. Hearts will not be transformed. Hearts are transformed means you have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Heart transformation means the people you are preaching, they are willing to give up their mundane understanding of spiritual life and they are ready to accept Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. They are ready to chant the holy names of Krishna. They are ready to surrender their lives to Krishna. This is heart transformation. We can defeat people in argument. We can tell them what their understanding is atheistic. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. If we know Bhagavad Gita well, we can defeat arguments, but merely by argumentation we cannot transform their heart. Heart transformation means now they have rejected their understanding and accepted Krishna in their life. Now you have transformed, you have touched their hearts. That transformation will happen if you perfectly follow parampara system and your own sincerity. And if Krishna is pleased with you, Krishna will use you as an instrument. So sarvatra sthapaya Prabhu Vaishnava Siddhanta sarvatra sthapaya Prabhu. So globally he established Vaishnava Siddhanta. No matter what their beliefs, followers, atheistic, who cares? He established Vaishnava Siddhanta. Prabhura Siddhanta keha napare khandita. Nobody could refute against Lord Chaitanya. Now this is what happens if even if they have some arguments, if a pure devotee speaks, the force is very aggressive. And the Lord in the heart will not allow them to see. Two things will happen. If you have Krishna's mercy, and then if you speak Krishna Katha, then the other person, even if they have lot of doubts, they will get the answer within themselves only. They'll be satisfied just by hearing from you. And they will not find any way to refute you also. Everything will be taken care. Why? Krishna's mercy. Because Krishna is sitting in the heart of every living entity. Krishna transforms the heart. Krishna has to give them the conviction. Krishna has to make himself resonate in their heart. Then whatever you say, they will do. Krishna has to help them. And that Krishna will help you if you please Krishna. Just like Krishna tells Arjuna, um, mm, Nimitta matram bhave sabyasachi. That you just become my instrument. Everything is done by me. So Krishna does everything, but he will give you the credit. He will make the whole world say, "Are this Prabhuji and this Mataji, they are doing great preaching. They are doing great service." Krishna does everything, but Krishna will just give you the credit. Krishna will speak through you. Krishna will bring people to you. Krishna will speak through you, and Krishna will give conviction sitting in their heart also. Everything Krishna does. And then he would just make everybody think, "Wow, this is a great Vaishnava." That's why Krishna gives the fame also. It's just we should not take it. We should give it to Guru and Krishna. We should understand that Krishna is the underlying principle. It's not me. It's Krishna, the underlying principle. um, Something came to my mind and it gone. So, Prabhura Siddhanta Keha Na Pare Khandite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established the devotional cult everywhere and nobody could defeat him. Nobody could defeat him. Yeah, this thing came to my mind. Um, Very good example in Adi Leela we saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and um, um, Digvijay Pandit. When Saraswati spoke verses of Ganga, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he had no words to speak. When he said find fault, he said no faults. When Mahaprabhu found fault in him, he had no words to speak. And then he said, actually, Ganga made me speak Ashuddha verses. Ganga made me speak like that. And and I was humbled by Ganga Devi. And Ganga Devi said, yes, my purpose is that you surrender to Nimai. He is the Lord of my heart. And your worship to me is perfected by your taking shelter of him alone. And then he went and he surrendered his life to Nimai Pandit, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's how Paramatma works. Prabhuji's and Mataji, sitting in the heart, they will make people. They will see Krishna is the doer. Whatever questions they have in their heart, now Krishna will make you speak those questions, those answers. They'll be convinced. Whatever doubts, you will unknowingly answer all their doubts. Why? Just if you please live your life that you please Krishna. Don't engage in sinful activities. Be strict with your sadhana. Chant more, read more, hear more, serve more. Do lot of seva and remain humble at the same time. And um, Prabhupada said, you can change the whole world also. You can be so much empowered. It's a life of preparation. Every time, now Krishna will give us little success. Then Krishna will see that, how are we taking it? Are we taking in a mood of humility? And Krishna will give us more. And then Krishna will give us more. Just the right mood um, and strict sadhana and patience. And my personal observation, if you become a preacher, this is actually I request all the devotees to become preachers for a purpose. If you become a preacher, there is a high chance you will remain a very sincere devotee throughout your life. At least आपके लिए बहुत फायदा है. You will remain a very sincere devotee throughout your life if you become a preacher. Why? You will read more, you will speak, Krishna will speak through you to you, and then you know that You will develop a deeper and deeper desire to serve, and you will be forced to take deeper shelter of Krishna. um, your life will be very wonderful if you can somehow desire jare dekha tare jare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. And if you want to preach the message of Krishna consciousness, one thing that you need is a strong desire. I want to preach. See, everything begins with a desire. If you have a desire to serve, Krishna will give you seva. How it will happen, that's inconceivable. Krishna will make some, everything is under Krishna's hand. You just have to desire. If you are getting a service, you should know you had a desire and Krishna is reciprocating through an instrument. Likewise, if you want to preach, you just need a desire. Yes, my Lord, I want to preach. And then if you have that desire, you will see things will work out. How? This is mystical. You don't have to do anything. I mean, you do your part, it will be successful by your desire. There has to be a desire. One time one devotee said, why we are not able to spread Krishna consciousness movement actively throughout the world? Because we lack a sincere desire. People lack a sincere desire who are devotees. So desire, now how to develop a desire? You associate with those who have a desire. You will shape yourself according to your association. If you associate with those who don't want to preach, you will not want to preach. You associate with those who want to preach, you would like to preach. Whatever qualities you develop, you want to become humble, you associate with those who are humble, you will develop humility. And if you want to become arrogant, which I don't want you all to become arrogant, you associate with those who are arrogant, you will develop arrogant. You associate with those who have fault finding nature, you will develop fault finding nature. That's why one has to be very careful and discriminate with the association one keeps, and sincerity in your personal practices. And one of the very important principle if you want to preach is reading. If you're not reading Srila Prabhupada books, you will not be able to preach. I visited one home, I think 2 weeks back, and then the Mataji asked me that, Prabhuji, I am speaking about Krishna, but I feel like I lack faith what I'm speaking. I lack conviction what I'm speaking. My only question to her is, are you systematic? She is initiated devotee. She is initiated for maybe 10 years now. Um, she is involved in active preaching also. I asked her, are you systematically reading Srila Prabhupada books? She said no. I said, here is an answer. Without, now, because of sincerity, you will do great. Because actually, ultimately, Krishna loves sincerity. Krishna, purity is a force, Prabhu. If you just push on your own Krishna consciousness, you will do wonders in your life. If you just don't lax there, and good association, no fault finding, perfectly following Vaishnava etiquette, Prabhupada says Krishna will be in your grips. So unless we are reading Srila Prabhupada books, you will not be able to speak. You will be hesitant. Even though you think you have conviction, while speaking, you will feel hesitant to speak. That's why without reading, preaching cannot happen. Preaching cannot happen. People who don't read, they cannot speak. I have seen that. They will have a feeling that this is what it is, this is what it is not, but they cannot defend. They cannot put forward logical reasoning. They will not have that conviction. So systematic reading, that will take you long way. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established the devotional cult everywhere, and nobody could defeat him. Nobody could defeat him. Hari Hari Prabhu Mate Karena Pravesh, E Mate Vaishnava Prabhu Kaila Dakshinadesh. Being thus defeated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all these philosophers and their followers entered into his cult. Sometimes cult has a negative annotation, but actually cult means culture. So they entered into his culture means they accepted bhakti tradition. They gave up their Jaimini, impersonalism, Puranic study of Devi Puran, Shiv Puran, other Puran, other modes. They gave up all conceptions. Other Smriti Shastras, non-authentic Smriti Shastras, and whatever, Mayavadis. And they accepted the culture of the tradition of bhakti. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made South India into a country of Vaishnavas. Everybody he gave Vaishnava Siddhanta. Pashandi Aila Yata Panditya Suniya Garvakari Aila Sange Shishya Lana. When the non-believers heard of the erudition of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they came to him with great pride, bringing their disciples with them. The main purpose was not to take darshan, but Mahaprabhu's main purpose was actually not to visit holy places, but to purify the holy places. And not just to purify holy places, but to deliver all of South India. So we see only two things happen throughout the tour of South India. Jare Dekha Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh and visiting the holy places. That's it. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, preach now, samadhi later. If you want to just take samadhi and go into Radha Krishna meditation and no preaching, you will see you won't be able to go deeper. So these two things should happen simultaneously. And we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada said, after you have done sufficient preaching and if you're very old, then you have a choice to retire from preaching activities and um, absorb in Radha Krishna pastimes, or um, you can continue preaching. Perfection will be given to you both ways. Best is if you continue preaching throughout your life, just like we see the example of His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He never stopped preaching. The last day also he was translating Bhagavatam 10th canto. The last breath he never retired. We don't see our spiritual master retiring. They were always actively preaching. At some point of time, if the desire comes, I don't want to preach, then we should understand that this is a block to my internal sadhana also. Srila Prabhupada explains there are two kind of devotees. One are Bhajananandis, one are Ghoshyanandis. Bhajananandis, they are they want to do lot of bhajan, chant more, hear more, read more, lot of personal sadhana. They are called Bhajana Anandis. Ananda means they take their pleasure in their bhajan. Bhajana Anandis. And one is called Ghoshya Anandis. They both take Anand. But Ghoshya Anandis take pleasure in preaching. Ghoshya Anandis. Prabhupada said good Bhajana Nandis will become good Ghoshya Nandis. If you just want to preach and you don't have a solid foundation of bhajan, you will not be successful. You will go through a lot of struggles to spread Krishna consciousness movement. But your bhajan will give you strength, divinity. People are not attracted to your words. People are attracted to your divinity, the energy you carry, the spiritual potency you carry. That will come by bhajananandi. So lot of bhajan, sincere bhajan, no lacks in bhajan. You lacks in bhajan, your ghoshte will become laxed. They are directly connected. You become weak in your bhajan, you become weak in your preaching. You go more deeper into your bhajan, you go more deeper. And then to do more and more bhajan, we have to stretch. We have to stretch. Um, um, Serving Krishna is a privilege. Not everybody gets a chance to serve Krishna. Now you all are very sincere devotees. Um, um, so you all should preach. You all should do very nice bhajan And he also helped Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, I have brought so many fruits of love of God. How many can I distribute myself? You all have to take the responsibility of creating more servants for Shri Shri Radha Gopijana Vallabha. You all have to think, you all have to question yourself. Do you love them? Do you want to serve Radharani? Do you want to serve Gopijana Vallabha? Do you want to assist them in creating their servants? See, the more servants Radharani has, the the more nicely we can serve. The service quality will improve. You see the standards of worship in Mayapur, in Vrindavan, in Chowpatty. You see the standard of worship, what they eat, how they are dressed. And then you see the standard of worship at Radha Gopijana Vallabha Mandir. Why there is difference? Because of lack of sufficient servants for Radharani. There are not many servants. There we have probably 20, 30 people cooking every meal. Here we have one person cooking every meal. There we have 20 pujaris in the altar at one point of time. There everyday garlands we have at least like 100 devotees every single day making garlands. So every day, see, if there are a lot of servants of Radharani, every day will be wonderful decoration, altar decoration. You see festival, it looks so nice. Why? Because um, all the devotees come together. They make very beautiful garlands, very beautiful decoration of the altar. So we see Radharani so happy. We see during the festival, morning, afternoon, evening, 56 items goes. There are 10, 15 Matajis in the kitchen. So what will bring the difference is how many servants Radharani has. That much will be the quality of seva. You see the quality of seva during Janmashtami, the quality of seva during any festival, and you see the quality of seva on a regular basis. So what is required is preaching. Preaching is required. The more now you will be benefited, Nityananda Prabhu says, you take the commission. You will go very deep in your sadhana. Um, 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 Unfortunately, I am not able to go deep myself, but you all will go very deep. At least I have seen in my own experience, people who are extensively preaching are going very deep in their sadhana. So uh, you will certainly go very deep. Radharani will be very pleased. The service will be very high quality. Now there are lot of servants. There will be no scarcity of anything. Everything will be covered. Um, um, One time my spiritual master, His Holiness Sadhana Swami Maharaj he said, if the deities are getting served very nicely, everything will manifest. Everybody will be empowered. After Radharani came, lot of empowerment came to the temple. If deities are served very nicely, everybody will be empowered. I remember, those of you, if you remember, before temple came, Sunday feast, we will have 25, 30 people, sometime 20, maximum 30 people. We used to cook, we remember, sometime 40. Now, before Corona, we had 200, 250 people. Why? After Radharani came, after Radha Gopijana Vallabha came, 5 times, immediate, so many servants came of Radha Gopijana Vallabha. More and more will come. The more and more we serve with love and devotion, the place hold the potency by the purity and sincerity of their servants, how sincere they are. And potency, quality cannot remain hidden. If more and more quality of devotional service of the place increases, it will spread throughout Farmington, Novi, Northville, and various other Canton, various other places. The quality cannot be confined, cannot remain hidden. has to spread. So we have to work on our quality, and we if we serve, Krishna will be the doer. Just our personal bhajan and a sincere desire of seva and the right mood. What is the right mood? Trinadapi Sunichina, humility, tolerance, patience, humility, tolerance, giving respect, everyone, giving respect to everyone, and not expecting respect, not expecting respect for oneself. Somebody doesn't respect, that's okay. Giving respect. You cultivate a right mood, right sadhana, right satsang, seva attitude, a right desire. Like Mahaprabhu says, what is the three right desires? Mahaprabhu said, Nam Ruchi Jiva Daya Vaishnava Seva. That is right desires. Three desires, three right desires. My Lord, help me develop chanting in the holy name of Krishna. That's why we are taking shelter of Nitai before we begin. Narotama Bada Dukhi, Nitai More Karo Sukhi. I am very much miserable in my chanting of the holy names. Nitai More Karo Sukhi, please give me. Nityananda Aham Naumi Sarvananda Param Karam Sarvananda Hari Nam Pradam Devam Avadhuta Shiromani. Nityananda Prabhu has come to give us Hari Nam, Sarvananda Param Karam. He has come to make us full of bliss, and Hari Nam Pradam Devam, and to give us the holy name. It's Nitai, 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 Nitai. Nitai has opened a marketplace. Surabhi Kunjete at Surabhi Kunj. Khoda Nitai, he has opened a marketplace. It's he. So taking shelter of Nitai, this is like Namaruchi, Janjeev Daya. I want to create more servants for Radharani, for Srila Prabhupada. If you have desire to serve in this way, you will be more and more successful. I want to create more servants for Srimati Radharani. More and more people should come to temple, should do seva, and she should be pleased. So the focus is pleasing Krishna is the center. And one devotee I know, though many of you don't know, Dev Madhav Prabhu, he leads a very wonderful, nice center in Epsilon. Um, we used to be together serving in an arbor when I was in college 10 years back. We would together go for Sankirtans. So that time he would say that, Prabhu, my only desire is I want to bring spirit souls to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, and that's it. Pure desire. I want to bring souls to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So when I want to bring souls, I want to create more servants of Srimati Radharani. Let them be happy. Let there be more and more vibrant. And if you remain a preacher throughout your life, there is a very high chance you will go back to bondage. Very high chance. So at some point of time, my request to all of you is get into that mood. Get into that mood. Oh, okay. So that's the last verse for today. And then we will discuss about this tomorrow. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated the Buddhist culture and argued against the Buddhist culture, who were actually offensive, and they came with their disciple out of false pride to defeat Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How Mahaprabhu tackled them, we will see next week onwards. Okay, are there any discussions, questions before we end today? Okay, so please give me permission. I'll end here. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripasindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Dhanavad Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Dhanavad Pranam. Hare Krishna.